Hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Hope you guys had an amazing couple of days. Had yesterday off, obviously, everything going down here in the US of A. But obviously, this isn't about that. We're here to talk about professional wrestling. Hope you guys had an amazing Wednesday. Hope you guys definitely went out there and voted. Definitely hope you guys, went out there and make like feel like your voice is heard. So that that's always a good sign. But Tuesday, it was so weird. I was like wondering for like I was wondering when I was like doing my NXT preview, I was like, dude, why would NXT want to go head to head with Dynamite? I honestly, the wrestling fan in me thought about that Monday Night War kind of thing. Triple H wants to shove it down uh to Tony Khan's throat. And I was like thinking I was like, oh yeah, the election's on Tuesday. So it just, it made sense. I was like, okay, now I kind of understand. So thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today on tap. We're going to talk about our WWE Monday Night Raw review, our NXT preview. We're going to preview Dynamite as well. And then we're also going to talk about our, obviously we weren't live yesterday, and something that I absolutely love doing on Tuesdays. It's our Tuesdays today in wrestling history. I take you guys into my DeLorean, go back in time, gun it 88 miles per hour, Marty. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I'm a huge Back to the Future kind of guy, so I'm like, you know what? I can have a segment based on Back to the Future. So, we're gonna talk about today in wrestling history. It's not Tuesday, but it'll be Wednesday, and then of course every single Wednesday, our fifth segment, we talk about our Wednesdays weekly wrestling roundup. I give you guys all my major hot news and all the breaking news in the world of professional wrestling. So make sure you guys gear up, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and get ready for the best wrestling podcast in the world, the must see, the A-lister, like a star, Eric Rodriguez. I'm just kidding. No. I'm just a humble guy. I'm just your friendly neighborhood, wrestling podcaster. All right, so let's go and dig onto the show. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat. Whether if you got a burning question or hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling here at the GSMC Sports Network, we want you guys to feel like you guys are open. We want you guys to feel comfortable. We want you guys to feel like whatever you guys have to get off your chest, absolutely do it. No hard feelings here. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are all ears 1,010%. This podcast is all about keeping the conversation going, making sure you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix. So, yeah, let's go ahead and, don't be shy. Drop those thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed on air, why not use that super chat? It's that $ below that chat box right there. Whatever you put inside that box, what we talked about will be discussed if it's something really, really juicy, maybe something even debated about. It can take definitely, partially, it could definitely take part of like a segment that I have here on the show. So yeah, why don't you yourself could be the show of this podcast right here. So definitely, guys, this is a great way that we support our channel. It's a great way to keep the lights on in terms of all the amazing podcasts we have here with these passionate podcasters who have one thing and one goal in mind is to make sure that you guys feel like that you guys, make sure that you guys feel like the content that you guys consume is something that you love so much and make sure that you guys feel like, you're well satisfied in terms of, what you have, watched. Obviously, attention nowadays, it's, there's so many other options in terms of sports and in terms of sports media. But here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do pride ourselves on a lot of, we definitely love giving you guys accurate, timely. We definitely love the fact that we can give you guys a lot of this information that, that is necessary for a fan to, kind of wrap their heads around. But we're not like any other wrestling sports, or not wrestling, sorry, excuse me, any other sports network. We definitely encourage our fans to, engage. Definitely something you guys can mention in the chat could open up my mind to a bunch of things. Obviously, I am the host of this show, but at the same time, I want to feel like this podcast is like No, it's like a we. This is a we podcast, guys. So yeah, don't be shy and drop your thoughts inside that chat. We are super grateful, first and foremost, for each and every one of you guys who joins us here on the GSMC Sports Network. So let's go ahead and so let's keep the conversation going. Let's get this party started. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome, and together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, super chat, not your thing. It's all good. Hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Superman punch that, like a subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here, the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1010%. Of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. Criticism, back and forth banter, maybe a little bit of a disagreement. It's all good in the neighborhood. Make sure you guys feel like you guys, open yourselves up. When you guys hit up that chat, feedback is a gift. So, just want to hear what you guys have to say, and we can make this podcast. We can make this podcast ours. This is our podcast. All right, so we're gonna stick off. We're gonna kick off with Monday Night Raw, and of course, what's Monday Night Raw without the WWE World's Heavyweight Champion, Liv Morgan? Liv Morgan kicks off the show, obviously talking major trash to Rhea Ripley. For me, when I heard that Rhea Ripley was, essentially kind of written off WWE for 3 weeks to 4 months, it just shows that I don't know. I just feel like they're building up something for Rhea in the future. And right now, you kind of have Liv Morgan. She hasn't really been rubbed the right, not, no, you know what? I take that back. I haven't really been, the biggest Liv Morgan supporter. Obviously, I feel like she's getting better. I feel like in terms of like the way she's cutting promos, the way she's wrestling her matches, it's getting better. And right now she's untouchable because she has, the help of the Judgment Day, of Dominic Mysterio, of Raquel Rodriguez. And just her coming out talking trash to Rhea Ripley right off the bat just makes me feel like it's going to be, the storyline of you kind of have this villain that, every episode, or like if you watch a mini series on, Netflix, HBO Max, Peacock, Prime Video, whatever, you kind of have that build up. You kind of have that build up like the, Game of Thrones. I'm a huge Game of Thrones kind of guy. When Eddard Stark got, when he got beheaded, I was like, oh no, how could any good come of this? Obviously, thanks to the storyline at the end of, at the end of the series, you saw the Starks basically take over the capital. You saw Bran become king. You had, Tyrion, Lord Hand, and Arya was doing her thing. Sansa was the Queen of the North. And Jon Snow was just being Jon Snow, like, you know what I mean? So all in all, I feel like this is going to definitely set up a storyline with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley in the future. Rhea Ripley obviously regaining and winning back her WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And of course, that segued into a number one contenders match. We had a good old fashioned over the top rope battle royal. You saw the likes of Pure Fusion Collective. You saw Kairi Sane and Iyo Sky of Damage Control. You saw Katana Chance and Kitty Carter. You saw Bianca Belair and Jade Cargo. I thought for sure they were going to be the ones to come out victorious. But at the end of the day, you know. But couple of standouts. I did love the way Katana Chance was. She was inside the ring. She was definitely making sure that her presence was known, and she did a Kofi Kingston where she was really, she wasn't eliminated. Did a handstand. Then she walked all the way back to the ring only to get eliminated once again, which kind of sucked. But at the same time, I thought that was a cool spot. That was a cool spot for her. Pure Fusion Collective. I don't really understand when they're gonna pull the trigger on this WWE, because for now, Sonya Deville laughing stock, Shayna Baszler laughing stock, and Zoe Stark. Can't really blame Zoe Stark. I feel like Zoe Stark out of the three is kind of getting the crap end of the stick there. But more or less, what are you gonna do with this faction? Do you want to make it seem so? Do you want to make it seem so dominant that, whenever you have any wrestler going up against them, you're not necessarily winning matches to improve your credibility or to improve your intimidation of the rest of the women's division on Raw, I I feel like it's kind of lost right now. I feel like it's kind of lost in translation. Obviously, when Sonya Deville came back, they were like, okay, Sonya needs a, she needs a storyline. And Shayna has been that, one of those NXT superstars who's been called up, called down, called up, called down, and now she's called up. And I feel like they don't really know what to do with these girls, and it sucks and it's terrible because you have three talented women, ready to make it back to the WWE, and the best you can do is the Pure Fusion Collective. Like I don't know, it just sounds like a Hallmark Hall of Fame movie. I'm just kidding. No, moving on. You had you kind of had Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan get inside the match. Not really inside the match, but they caused Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill to get eliminated. But there was a time where they were, those two were standing inside the ring. Obviously, they are the WWE Women's World Tag Team Champions. But the fans wanted it. The fans really wanted to see these girls go back and forth, wanted to see them, go eye to eye, wanted to see them tear each other apart. Obviously, that's, not what WWE has in store right now. But, it's just, you have the two top, physical, mental, you have all the confidence. These two women could definitely headline a PLE like Survivor Series, SummerSlam, hell, even WrestleMania, based in the, of course it would have to have the right, product placement, also the right bookings. But these two girls are superstars and they're tag team partners right now. Obviously, I feel like, after the way, Saudi Arabia definitely reacted to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill left in the ring to determine the number one contender for Liv Morgan's WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Just basically foreshadows that they're gonna milk the hell. They're gonna milk the hell out of this tag team run. Also, they're gonna milk the hell out of their rivalry once when it finally comes in fruition. So it should be pretty should be pretty noted that this is definitely going to be something special in the future between these two girls. Tag team champions now, but in the future, it's going to be badass. It's going to be better. It's going to be way better than their tag team run. Guarantee you that. And of course, the final two, you had Lyra Valkyria taking on Iyo Sky. And I was hopeful for Lyra Valkyria. But of course, I feel like she did peak a little early. Recently on WWE Monday Night Raw, she's kind of been a punching bag for the Pure Fusion Collective, teaming up with Natalia and Zelina Vega and kind of one of those superstars. But overall, I felt like this match was great. I felt like the ending of this match, you kind of had those two women superstars that could hold the title. You can have Lyra Valkyria win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and Iyo Sky, then with Kyrie Sang of Damage Control, I feel like it was necessary for her to win. I didn't want to see any other woman win because I feel like, the way Iyo Sky performs inside the ring, she's had, great matches with Bianca Belair. Obviously, she towers over, Bianca towers over Iyo Sky by at least like a foot, maybe like a foot and a half. It's crazy. But and I hate to kind of compare this in terms of like height. You know what I mean? In terms of a wrestling, spirit and the heart, at the end of the day, you step inside that square circle, it doesn't matter the size you are. But Liv Morgan and Iyo Sky, because they're around the same height, they could have a way better match than Raquel Rodriguez, taking on Liv Morgan, which would never happen, but or Rhea Ripley taking on Liv Morgan, I don't know, it just at this point it just feels like it's poetic justice. But Iyo Sky will not win. And it sucks because I feel like overall she's been very consistent, on SmackDown, on Raw, even she's wrestling on NXT. So, in my opinion, I feel like, Iyo Sky deserves it. But, in terms of the storyline, what you have with Liv Morgan right now with Dirty Dom and Raquel Rodriguez, I don't think the storyline's really going anywhere. All right, wrapping this up real quick. We have, Xavier Woods basically blaming Kofi Kingston, said that he dropped the ball, creating conflict. Uncle Howdy has abducted the Miz. Then you saw that little clip where you saw Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, and The Miz basically, as the WWE Intercontinental Champion, kind of talking down to them, kind of being like, you can't hold my strap. I'm going to make you guys superstars. Obviously, that never really came into reality. And Bo Dallas wants to make him pay. And I definitely love the spot that you had footage of Curtis Axel. I was like, you know what, in terms of telling the story, creating a storyline with a lot of credibility. You kind of have to have those superstars that, although they are not with WWE right now, or maybe on the back burner, or maybe in terms of contract talks, you need to kind of have that overall to kind of have your story, make sense at the end of the day. So, Bo Dallas is going after the Miz. They said they never really cared about the Final Testament, and we wanted you all along. Kind of crazy, but I'm for it. The New Day lose against the War Raiders. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston always seem like they're still at odds. It's not really going to work out. You saw the Trouble in Paradise attempt. Obviously, Xavier Woods jumped the gun for that tag team, for that elbow. And then you saw, Corey Graves and Michael Cole talk about the road to WrestleMania starting March 14th, where you have Barcelona, Belgium, Spain, Scotland, London, Austria, and Netherlands heading up to the road of WrestleMania. I think that's pretty cool that WWE taking their product internationally. Sami Zayn speaks. Jay came out almost immediately, basically thanking Sami Uso about what was going down. Thank you for coming in and intervening and protecting me. And he wanted to know if it was he wanted to know if it was an accident. Sammy obviously from the get go was like looking at him in disbelief. Once again, he has to not confront, that's not the right word. He has to defend himself against allegations of the bloodline. Obviously, you guys all know how that turned out with the whole Kevin Owens thing. Jimmy Uso was obviously against Sami Zayn, which is kind of funny because he was one to bring Sami inside the family to begin with. And now on SmackDown, hopefully we'll see a Jay, Jimmy, Roman, Sami promo where these guys get their stuff together heading toward Survivor Series. Obviously, these guys need to get on the same page. Maybe they can't get on the same page without the return of the wise man, Paul Heyman. I want to see Paul Heyman tonight on NXT and ECW. I feel like that would be, pretty fitting. But I don't know. It should be pretty interesting. And Sami Zayn was like, you know what? I can't do this again. I'm out. Jay was like, you know what? I was wrong. You are, brother. You are my brother. You know, um, you know, your family. Your family, Sammy Uso. And Jay Uso was man enough to admit he was wrong. So, I thought that was pretty badass. Seth Rollins in a promo acknowledges, Bronson Reed. Chad Gable loses to Dragon Lee. Chad Gable loses to Dragon Lee. I love that the Kurt Angle custom leotard that Chad Gable was using. I think this is great momentum for this feud between the LWO and the American Made. Gunther in an interview with Jackie Redmond set Ludwig Kaiser straight. Ludwig Kaiser right off the bat was basically saying that Cody Rhodes won by chance, that he doesn't deserve it. And Gunther grabbed the mic right quick and he was like, you know what? He was the better man. And I like that for the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I love the fact that he's not a heel. Because Gunther, he doesn't deserve to be a heel. Like he really doesn't. Throughout the WWE tenure, and I'll keep this brief, he's been in he's been in talks of being one of the best wrestlers on the roster, and you can see it portrayed in every single match that he headlines. And it's just why do you have to make him turn heel? Like, why does every single time you don't necessarily need to have that good guy, that bad guy, especially in this day and age of social media. You can have a good guy going against a good guy, and it doesn't matter. You can have two, medium, like the guys going against two medium like guys, and it doesn't matter. So, having Gunther come out here and be like, you know what, I don't want to sell myself short. Because if he came out on Monday Night Raw just barking barking sweet nothings like, oh, he cheated. That was BS. He can't beat me in a regular matchup. He's trash. This and that and the other. Like, nobody wants to see that. I don't want to see that, especially from somebody as great as Gunther. So, the way that this promo ended, I definitely loved it. Lastly, we have Damien Priest winning the Fatal 4-Way match. Um, you saw Bronson Reed come out. For me, I was like, why did he come out? What's the point of this? Obviously, making sure that his name is well known, that he's going to be a contender within the WWE World Heavyweight Championship title picture in the future, and that him and Seth Rollins, the feud is not going anywhere. I thought it was kind of funny how he did not target Dominic Mysterio. I've had speculations that he will be the new muscle for Finn Balor on the Judgment Day. Other than that, I feel like the Judgment Day will fall. There's no sense of, keeping JD McDonough. There's no sense of keeping Carlito. And Dirty Dominic Mysterio, the only reason why he's, prevalent in terms of the world of professional wrestling is simply because Liv Morgan. So, if there's anything that could reboot well, not new, this Judgment Day faction that's dying, rapidly dying, it's got to be Bronson Reed. So, it should be interesting to find out what goes on moving that. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about our next segment. We get our WWE NXT preview at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, the home of ECW. ECW. So, hey, do not go anywhere. ECW. ECW.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez here, your favorite wrestling fan, Monday through Friday, every Monday, every 11 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Pacific time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain draw, rumors, and we talk about superstar, inactive statuses, injury updates. We talk about obviously everything under the sun in terms of professional wrestling. If you want to find out the hottest thing going around, your favorite wrestling media platform, make sure you guys tune into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast on the GSMC Sports Network so do not miss a single spot of the action. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about our WWE NXT preview. But before we get on into any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat, whether you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling here at the GSMC Sports Network. We are all ears 1,010% of the way. It's all about keeping the conversation going, making sure you guys feel like your voice is, part of the mix. So don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, concern gets noticed on air, why not use that box right there? Absolutely type anything. If it's juicy enough, we can debate about it. We can talk about it. This is our podcast, not necessarily, the podcaster. Definitely would love to, love a lot of audience engagement. Definitely what you guys have to speak upon could definitely take place in one of the segments that I have here on this show. And this segment could be all yours 1,010%. So make sure you guys, don't be shy and go ahead and hit up that up. But of course, thank you guys so much for donating. Obviously, thank you in advance. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep this party going. The show is a hell of a lot better with you guys' with your engagement. So let's send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome, and together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, if the super chat not your thing, go ahead and hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. But whatever you guys do, just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. So make sure you guys feel like you guys are part of the mix. Obviously we love positive feedback, but in terms of sports, especially in terms of the world of professional wrestling, criticism, it's gonna happen. So, feedback is a gift, guys. Do not be shy. Drop whatever you guys feel like inside that chat, and we can definitely discuss about it. All right, we have WWE NXT preview. Obviously, tonight we are live at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the home of ECW, which is Extreme Championship Wrestling. If you guys don't know that, I want to see something cool. I want to see something big. I want to see something nostalgic. As of right now, we have Don Marie, we have Bully Ray, and of course we have RVD. Will somebody else show up? I'm kind of betting on it. I want to see somebody else randomly, put their name in the fray. I want to see Paul Heyman tonight. I feel like that would be amazing. I feel like that'd be badass. But with everything going up the bloodline with Raw, with SmackDown and stuff like that, maybe it's not really that practical or whatever you guys want to call it. But overall, I just I want to see something cool. I feel like you have to embrace that ECW style. That's the reason why Shawn Michaels wanted to hold an event in that arena, is to kind of have just something different. We recently came off Halloween Havoc, and then you had a week, and then now we're at the 2300 Arena on Wednesday. You have this head-to-head with Dynamite, this Wednesday Night War. I'm just kidding. No, imagine. But I feel like I just want to see something badass. I want to see something pretty cool. All right, so we have a 10-woman tag match. We have Fatal Influence, the team of Fallon Henley, also, JC Jane and Jasmine Nix teaming up with Roxanne Perez, the WWE NXT Women's Champion. And of course, her newly acquired best former friend, Jade Cora. Sorry, not Jade Cora. Cora Jade, excuse me, taking on Jordan Grace, former TNA Knockouts World Champion, had an amazing reign. Thought, thinks that she's pretty badass. We have Keilani Jordan, the former NXT North American Champion. Zarya debuted last week against Brinley Reese, Julia, and Stephanie Vaquer. So this match could be great. I feel like this match could definitely steal the show. I want to see this match as the main event, obviously, compared to everything that's going on the show. It would seem pretty dire. If you kick off the show with this match, it'd be badass. In terms of, talking about a wrestling promotion, the kickoff match, kind of getting the fans warmed up for something badass and something cool. This match could definitely, take the cake. And then, of course, in the main event, I feel like they would be phenomenal as well, because I feel like these 10 women are, the future of professional wrestling. Also, I'm having speculations that Jordan Grace is going to, become a full-time NXT wrestler. Maybe. That's a big ass maybe. I'm not too sure. And of course, Zarya, when you saw these wrestlers kind of surround Zarya, being like, "Hey, I have your back," she didn't really seem too thrilled. I definitely feel like she's like, that lone wolf. She's gonna go out there and do whatever she wants to do. At the end of the day, she's not asking for any help. Kind of like that lone wolf mentality. But if I had to pick a winner, you got to go with the challengers. You got to go with Jordan Grace, Jordan, Zarya, Julia, and Vicure. I feel like that's, these girls are going to be amazing. Next, we have Bubba Ray Dudley teaming up with Trick Williams, the NXT World Champion, against the former NXT World Champion, All Ego Ethan Page, and of course, the lunatic that is Ridge Holland. I don't really see any reason why Ethan Page and Rich Holland would win this match because you had people love seeing nostalgia. People love seeing like a legend inside the arena, and obviously Bully Ray, he hosts the Busted Open podcast, so it's in terms of knowing what you really can do and knowing what you really can't do in terms of WWE or in terms of wrestling just in general. Like, for him, he could be like, oh, it'd be so badass if I went inside the ring and I killed it, I destroyed them, and then bam, that's that. But at the same time, you could be like, all right, to make, Ethan Page look like he could definitely be a future NXT World Champion once again. Also, Rich Holland, you want to lose this match. You want to lose the spot. So it's going to be interesting to find out what creative order or what creative direction they decide to kind of go on to. So it should be, I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see it. What is next for Chase U? Hopefully after the ambulance match with Andre Chase and Rich Holland at NXT Halloween Havoc, we're gonna see something different. And when Duke Hudson comes back and Riley Osborne, I don't know if they're gonna try to seek retribution against Rich Holland. I feel like at this time feels like it'd be kind of stupid. But you need an ultimate like new direction for this. I want to see Thea Hale go after the NXT World Women's North American Championship. I feel like with her match with Roxanne Perez, I felt like she hung in with it like for a long time. I she seems like she would be a great, formidable NXT Women's, North American champion. So, should be crazy to find out if that's the direction that they got, that they decide to go with, on the show. Also, Javon Evans. Javon Evans, what's going on with him? He's recently been acting a little uncharacteristically, being frustrated. Maybe he finds his groove back tonight on NXT. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, maybe he finds a way, or maybe he embraces that ECW spirit, gets hardcore, and maybe he turns heel. I'm just kidding. No, 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 I don't think he would ever. He's the future of NXT, and right now the people love him too much as a babyface. Highly doubt that they would turn him, at this point in his career, especially with his match. With his match tonight with Wes Lee, the second longest reigning NXT North American champion, going up against that boy. Be bound to see the future of NXT, Javon Evans. I want to see Wesley win this. I feel like if Wesley wins this, he kind of needs, a positive check mark on his resume as of the last couple of months. Not saying that he's not been successful. I'm not saying that at all whatsoever. But for Javon Evans to kind of be a little bit more successful, sometimes you kind of have to get beat up. And Javon Evans have actually been. I feel like he's recently been on a losing streak. He lost against Randy Orton. He lost, with the North American champion, not North American. He lost. Damn it, he lost the Heritage Cup championship. And then he also lost the tag team champion. Well, he lost the chance at the NXT Tag Team Champions, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, teaming up with Cedric Alexander. Maybe a reboot with this character, is not too far away. We love that lovable wrestling fan that turned into a professional wrestler. Like we get that. We've had that, with Shawn Michaels, the boyhood dream, and with Bailey talking about when she used to everybody used to go to wrestling promotions when they were younger. And then they have these, before and after pictures of the legends, and it's just, this something with Javon Evans needs to be sparked. And maybe that's the match that they're having right now with Wes Lee that could possibly bring the mean out of Javon Evans, and Javon Evans just drops everything. He's like, you know what, dude, you were right. Like, you know what I mean? So maybe that could be a possibility. Maybe that could be the future of what's going to happen. Next, we have a hardcore match with Lola Vice taking on Jada Parker. Dawn Marie is a special guest referee. A couple of things to take in consideration tonight. We got what's going on with RVD. We never really had like a set in stone plan of what he's going to do tonight. Also, we're going head to head with AEW Dynamite, NXT. So it's going to be interesting to find out who wins the viewer ratings in terms of that. And like, again, at the end of the day, I really want to see Paul Heyman. I want to see Paul Heyman, guys. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our next segment. We got our AEW Dynamite talk going head to head with WWE NXT. We talked about one side. Now we're going to go ahead and jump on the other. We're going to have AEW Dynamite talk when we come back. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Here to talk about all the things in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain calls and rumors. We talk about superstar and active statuses, injury updates, contract negotiations, extensions, and new, signings. We talk about promotions from AEW to WWE to Ring of Honor to TNA to the GCW. Basically, if it makes some major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show 1010%. So make sure you guys, join us. All right, without further ado, we're going to talk about our third segment. We have AEW Dynamite Talk. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. AEW Dynamite is live tonight in Manchester, New Hampshire. Obviously, after their last week episode on Fright Night, I thought they built up some good momentum. I thought AEW was, I thought it was a great show. It was literally almost a 5-star show in my opinion. I thought it was great. I love the direction that they're having in terms of Jon Moxley. I love, Orange Cassidy coming out, being that non-climactic hero that a lot of people don't really feel like they're like, oh, don't really want to back yourself on this guy, with the Ray-Bans and with the denim and stuff like that. Because, he weighs in at whatever. He's from wherever, so it's like at the same time, it's like this guy has always had the modus apparatus or the reputation of being like, you know what? I don't really give a, I don't really care. That's kind of that, but that's his personality in AEW Dynamite. So, kind of having him step up against, or kind of having him being the one to kind of get up and be like, you know what? I have to stand up for AEW. I have to put him, put this company on my back and finally do what's right. So, but should be badass to find out what happens. After AEW Fright Night, I feel like you cannot slow down this momentum. Obviously, last week you saw Private Party dethrone the AEWs. You saw them dethrone the EVPs and winning those AEW World Tag Team titles from Matthew Nicholas Jackson. I feel like AEW with this whole elite thing, I think it's over. I think, it's about time that it was over, and I'm not trying to say that to be mean. I'm not trying to say that to be disrespectful. Even, in an interview, Matthew Nicholas Jackson didn't necessarily like where this storyline was going through. You had Kaz Okada, the moment he, debuted in AEW, he beat Eddie Kingston for the AEW Continental Championship. Then Jack Perry joined the Elite, immediately won that ladder match. I think it was at Double or Nothing. I think it was Double or Nothing in Vegas. He won that ladder match to become to win that vacated TNT World Champion. And it's just a nice little reboot. Matthew Nicholas Jackson has been reported to they're going to take some time away from All Elite Wrestling, which is probably the best way to go. When they come back, I feel like Kenny Omega, he's making a comeback pretty soon. It's he's going to be at full health. All these 3 dudes are going to be at full health. EVPs of All Elite Wrestling, and it's going to make for a great it's gonna make for a great feud. It's gonna make for a great conflict that's gonna get the fans into it. So I definitely can't wait to see, what happens in terms of that. Adam Cole takes on Malakai Black. Last week you saw Adam Cole return to the squared circle in AEW. It's been 14 months. It's been well over 300 and 56 days. And in the match, he looked a little banged up. He looked a little banged up. He almost basically walked away. It took Buddy Matthews to be like, look, like, you have to push yourself, man. So, I don't necessarily think that this might be a future altercation between House of Black and the Undisputed Kingdom. But, I feel like this is something that Adam Cole this is something that he needs. It's something that he needs. And what I mean when I say something like that is that, he's been, in this spot where he's never really been, what's the right word? Formidable? No, that's not the right. No, he's never been, damn it. He's never really been, oh, I can't believe I can't think of the word. Damn it. He's been delicate. That's not the right word, but it's around those same lines. Vulnerable. He's never ever been vulnerable in his career, even on NXT, even on AEW. He's never been in that position where he's been vulnerable. And now that he has that, him being that leader of the Undisputed Kingdom when he was cutting that promo, although I thought it was pretty cool. You had Roderick Strong, you had Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, in the back. And it's just I hope because recently you've seen a character change with, all these four superstars, with, Roderick Strong and Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. Maybe, I'm hoping this isn't like let's kick out Adam here. You know what I mean? Like maybe he might have to kind of figure things out on his own. Maybe with that mentality, that's what I would go with. But, in terms of wrestling, obviously everything is absolutely 110% unpredictable. But, that's, a storyline that could possibly be in the mix. We have Penelope Ford taking on Jamie Hayter. Konosuke Takeshita teams up with Kyle Fletcher of the Don Callis family against Ricochet and a mystery opponent. Who be Ricochet's mystery opponent? Oh, I know who it is. I'm just kidding. No, I heard he's dealing with an injury, but it could be Will Ospreay. It seems likely that it will be Will Ospreay. This, I guarantee you, will be the main event of Dynamite. If that's the case, if Will Ospreay is, elevated, if he's going to be, if that's going to be the main event, that's, probably what's going to happen. I would love it. Ricochet and obviously Will Ospreay have an amazing, chemistry together, and it should be pretty badass. Orange Cassidy teams up with Darby Allin, taking on Claudio Castagnoli and the Bastard Pack of, John Moxley's little faction. Darby Allin has recently been in this character change as well. He's been a little upset that, he lost his chance to fight Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship thanks to John Moxley randomly coming in, staking his claim. He's been a little upset with Tony Khan because he's made it adamant that he feels like he is the face of AEW. Darby Allin, is the face of AEW, and I don't necessarily agree. Honestly, I don't. I feel like he's been a huge factor in WWE. I keep reimbursing this fact and keep advocating on this ideology that he kind of gives me like kind of like Mick Foley vibes. Mick Foley's been with he's been with the WWF/WWE before he officially retired, and he was never the face. He would do a lot of high risk things that were very very dangerous. Obviously, AEW, it's different from WWE, 1010%. But I don't know. I just don't see it. Like, I just don't see how he can be the face of AEW. Maybe if he does turn heel, perhaps, but there's too many big dudes. There's too many stronger. There's too many, dominant inside the ring, dictating matches. And I feel like whenever Darby Allin goes out there, it's a good match. It is a good match, but it's in like, and then you talk to him, he's like, all right, throw me through a glass window, throw me through a table, hit me in the face with a metal chair. And be like, dude, hey, guess what, man? There's rules. This isn't disqualification. So Where does your credibility, where does your reputation, where does your future lie in AEW if you can't incorporate any of those factors? Like if Mick Foley, I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, in the past, like if he never had those hardcore spots, being thrown off the Hell of a Cell, being crashed through the Hell of a Cell, pedigreed with thumbtacks by Triple H at the Royal Rumble with their street fight and also at New Way Out. Like it's like, dude, like what really do you have to offer? Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be a jerk because Darby Allin's been there from the get go, and AEW is better with Darby Allin. But as the face of AEW, I don't know. I just I don't believe it. I don't. I just at this time I don't believe it. What's going to happen with the Hurt Syndicate? They should speak tonight. Tonight we will see a fight between. We're going to have a fight without honor match. The Learning Tree taking on the Conglomeration. Kyle O'Reilly, the former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Mark Briscoe, and Tomohiro Ishii. We're going to have Christian Cage and Hook go face to face. What's next for Jon Moxley? Private Party, will we see them have a celebration tonight? MJF, will he continue trolling Adam Cole? We're gonna have a build up for AEW Full Gear. Mercedes Moné, Chris Statlander, probably going to wind up in a match at All Gear for the New Japan Professional Wrestling Women's Strong Championship or the TBS Championship, which I feel like Mercedes should lose at least one, in my opinion. And Mercedes Moné, she has Camille, Chris Statlander, all by herself. She's gonna have to find an ally. Who's going to be her ally? Oh, maybe the best friend that she stabbed in the back, Willow Nightingale, who's had a lot of problems with Mercedes Moné and Camille in the past. So maybe that's the direction they're heading into. That's what I would go into. That's what I would go into. All right, moving on to our fourth segment. Like I said on Tuesday, we did not have a podcast, so we're gonna have our 2 days. We're going to have our Wednesdays today in the wrestling history. I'm going to bring you guys into my DeLorean, gun it to 88 miles per hour, bring you back in time in the world of professional wrestling. And we're going to talk about some cool stuff that's happened on this day of November 6th in the past. So, fasten your seatbelt, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and we will be absolutely back in about like 15 seconds.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All righty, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here every Monday through Friday, every night, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time on the GSMC Sports Network. Talk about the greatest thing in the world of professional wrestling. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE Monday Night Raw review. We had our WWE NXT preview. We talked about some AEW Dynamite. And now we're going to talk about today in wrestling history. I'm going to bring you guys into my DeLorean. Gun it to 88 miles per hour, Marty. Can you feel it? The flux capacitor. I'm just kidding. No. But overall, movie badass. If you've never seen Back to the Future, you are no friend of mine. I'm just kidding. No. Moving on. We have our today in wrestling history. So we're going to talk about that. Obviously, you guys hit up the super chat, hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Superman, punch that like a subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here, the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. But of course, in terms of talking sports, the disagreements, criticisms, they do arise, but it's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood, baby. It's all gravy, baby. Feedback is a gift. So I just want to make sure you guys feel like open, make sure you guys feel comfortable in talking to this guy right here, this dorky guy with the flannel that I picked out of my closet last minute because my office, my recording studio is outside. And surprisingly, I do live in Southern California and it's cold, man. It's cold, and I know a lot of you people probably listening right now, like who or, snow on the East Coast. You're like, dude, come on, dude. You're being a witch, but replace the W with a B. You know, like come on. It's like 50 degrees out here, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so bad. Like what I mean. But definitely, we're love and respect you guys. That's dope. That you guys can withstand cold like that. Yeah, but moving on. So, of course, we're going to talk about 1994, the groundbreaking When Worlds Collide pay-per-view took place at the Los Angeles Sports Arena. Whilst on the surface, this was an AAA show. Um, do any want to ever take place in the United States? It was a co-production between the group as well as WCW and Puerto Rico's IWC. The most famous match on the card saw El Hijo Del Santo and Octagon defeating Los Gringos Loco, Eddie Guerrero, and also the Love Machine Art Bar in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Damn, he looks so young there. Obviously, the late great Eddie Guerrero proving dividends that he could, the headline a match like this. He could definitely, an event like this. A wrestling promotion that's not used to teaming up with American products, obviously back in the day, felt confident because they trusted Eddie. So, he brought it. It was great. It was great, but they obviously, came up short, right? Came up short, defeated. Yeah, they came up short. They came up short. Oh, sorry, excuse me. All right, next we have 1998 and an ECW TV taping in New York City. The Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon, won their 5th ECW Tag Team Championship by defeating Balls Mahoney and Masato Tanaka to win. The win saw them overtake Public Enemy as having the most reigns in the company's history. Their record would ultimately stretch to 8 reigns before they left the company in 1999. This is what I want to see. I would love to see Devon Dudley come out tonight. That would be so badass. That would be so cool. Maybe, you're seeing at the end of the match between Trick Williams and Bubba Ray Dudley, you see Ethan Page, Rich Holland, and maybe one of their buddies, paying dividends, definitely attacking and having the Then of course you have that bam, 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 bam. And then freaking Devon Dudley comes out and it's like, get the tables. And you're like, why? And then he had, he from the top rope, he dives and, he, headbutts his, his crotch area. I would definitely love to see that. That would be pretty badass. And, I feel like they owe it to us. I'm just kidding. In 2000 on this day on Monday Night Raw, you saw the Good Father and Bull Buchanan of the Red 2 Center defeat the Hardy Boys to win the WWF Tag Team Championships. And I gotta be honest, this Red 2 Center, I liked it. The leading, role was Steven Richards, and then you had damn it, who's the other person that was gone? Or that's not Ivory. Ivory was a part of this as well. Bull Buchanan, the Good Father. And I remember playing, my Nintendo 64. They had a couple of Raichu Sensor characters, and it was, it was pretty cool. It was, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I thought it was it was a different, angle, but overall, I thought it was pretty badass. 2002, we saw Jerry Lynn defeat AJ Styles to win the TNA X Division Championship at a taping in Nashville, Tennessee. We also saw sadly, 2003, Mike Lockwood, best known as, Crash Holly, sadly passes away at the age of 32. Sad. I actually did a memorial about this guy, Mike Lockwood on the GSMC Sports Network. So make sure you guys check out that video on my channel. So make sure you guys, go hit that up and pay your respects to a man that was, he he was a great wrestler. He was a great wrestler. Dealing with stuff outside the ring wasn't always, adamant, but this guy was and during this day and time in terms of professional wrestling, all the allegations of prescription drugs and steroid uses and of course always abusing narcotics and painkillers and stuff like that. And it's it's sad. It's sad. But I remember him coming out with Hardcore Holly with that scale coming out, and I thought that was pretty badass. 1,010%. Rest in peace, my man, Mike Lockwood. Hope prayers, condolences to you and your family. Hopefully that you guys are, doing well. Next we have 2005. We got Joey Styles. I gotta be honest, when I saw Joey Styles take the WWE stage, I liked it. I thought, the way he delivered in his promos was pretty badass. Kind of like that Mike Cole-esque. You had Jerry the King Lawler. You had Jimmy Ross. And a lot of these announcers, it's hard to come by. I like Vic Joseph and Booker T on NXT. I feel like that is a great pair. SmackDown, Corey Graves and Michael Cole. On Raw, Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore. Like I like Joe. I feel like he's pretty damn well. But there's been a lot of wrestling announcers that's come and go. But definitely once when he was inside it, I definitely loved Joey Styles. 2006, Christopher Daniels wins the X Division Championship in an Impact taping in Orlando, Florida, taking on Chris Sabin and AJ Styles in a three-way dance. Good for Christopher Daniels. That's pretty badass. In 2006, you saw on Monday Night Raw, Johnny Nitro defeated Jeff Hardy to become the Intercontinental Champion in a no disqualification match. And, obviously back in the day with Eminem, that's huge for Johnny Nitro. Next on Monday Night Raw in Manchester, England, The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro defeated Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose to win the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships. On the same night, you saw Pete Dunne with his WWE roster debut with a win over Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore, I'm a certified G and a certified stud, and you can't teach that. Oh my God, that was fun. That was cool. I definitely love their tag team, and I think WWE ultimately kind of screwed them over. But that's just my opinion, 1,010%. 2020 on SmackDown, Carmella made her return to WWE by attacking the boss, Sasha Banks, after she defended the Blue Brands, the Women's Championship against Bayley. I love Carmella. I feel like she's, she has the attitude where she would fit right now in terms of WWE. I'm not entirely sure. But she can do it. She can make it. She can make it work, dude. She can definitely make it work. All right, obviously, notable wrestling deaths. Joe, Jose, Lothario, Angelo, Mosca. Obviously, we talked about Crash Holly as well. Birthdays today. We have Mascara Sangrada. And we also have Ken Patera. And of course, we have the SmackDown general manager, Nick Aldis. Happy birthday, Nick Aldis. Hope, definitely, him and Adam Pearce, when you don't have the general manager, where you don't have the authority figure inside the storyline, it's better. It's just way better. Like, and Vince McMahon obviously blurred those lines to make it seem like you kind of had that that BS boss where you had that authoritarian tyrant jerk of a boss, not appreciated to anything that you do. And obviously, I feel like in terms of that day and age, it's it's over. I feel like it's over 1,010%. Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce has been the best Raw general manager, SmackDown general managers, and probably within the last decade. And that's being brutally honest, Mike. That's being brutally honest. All right, so hey guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our fifth and final segment. We're going to wrap this up real quick. We have our Wednesdays weekly wrestling news. We're going to talk about all the major headlines in terms of wrestling when we come back. So hey, do not go anywhere. All right, welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to talk about all the greatest things in the world that surrounds the world of professional wrestling. And we are rapidly running out of time, so let's go ahead and jump on into our fifth and final segment. We're going to talk about some wrestling news headlines, guys. It's been a pretty juicy day in terms of the world of breaking news in terms of the world of professional wrestling. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into it. First and foremost, we have The Rock and Lucy Liu looked absolutely phenomenal. They were shining on the red carpet with my man Chris Evans, Captain America, at what is it? What is the movie? Oh, I can't believe it. The red one? I think it was the red one. I can't believe I didn't write down the name of the movie. Wow, that was my bad part right there. Uh, it was held at the UCI Lux Mercedes Platz Sunday, November 3rd. Like I said, alongside with Chris Evans. The story plot of the movie, you have Santa Claus being kidnapped. The Rock is the head of security. Chris Evans is well known world in the world as a bounty hunter. Obviously, in terms of the world of professional wrestling, this is badass. And just the holidays are coming around the corner. Sometimes it's fitting. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it does us so good to watch like one of those Hallmark channels. I got to be honest. You know, I don't know why, and I'll keep this brief. A little side story. I don't know why, but it seems like every single time I have like, a dentist appointment or a doctor's, checkup, it always happens around late November, early December. And on the TVs, you see the Hallmark channel, and you look at these movies, you're like, man, this is so stupid. This is terrible. Like you have these cheesy two characters who come together at the end of the movie who embrace the Christmas spirit and who fall in love with each other, and it's just all rainbows and unicorns at the end of the movie. Like you're like, dude, that's not real life, dude. These people are living in a fantasy. It's stupid. I don't want to do this. So I'm not going to watch this stupid crap. And then you start looking at your phone. And the moment you look at your phone, you're like, you pay attention to it. You keep glancing up, and you're like, holy crap! I'm invested in this movie. And like, Christmas movies are magical. Go ahead and type me, your favorite Christmas movie inside the chat. With the obviously you have the faves. With the Christmas Story, and then you also have damn it, what's that? Elf. You have Elf with Will Ferrell. You have there's a lot of Christmas movies out there that actually aren't Christmas movies. You have Iron Man 3, which is technically a Christmas movie. You have what's the other Christmas? Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, which is technically known as a Christmas movie, which is actually kind of weird, but I love that movie as well. You know, Christmas movies are awesome. I love Christmas movies, and I could, just, gets you in the mood, gets you in the mood to kind of, embrace that Christmas spirit. Whether if you buy a fake tree or a real tree. In my family tradition, it's always about the real tree. You can buy a decent 5 footer for about 35, $40 at Walmart, Target, or Big Lots. But Big Lots is, I feel like, all over the world it's been kind of closed down. So, also Lowe's, Home Depot, make sure you guys find yourself the nearest Christmas tree outlet. And when is it appropriate to decorate for Christmas? When is it appropriate? Halloween just ended, about 7 days ago. So, it's still wildly up in the air, but, Christmas, I'm a huge Christmas guy. Obviously, I have kids. I feel like my personality, my my aura, the excitement that I have around the holidays is reflected on the way my kids are going to handle it when they get older. And in terms of Christmas, it's very expensive. You have to push those credit cards to the limit, and then of course you're going to have them calling you and be like, oh, Leah, you got a monthly bill due, so make sure you guys don't miss that. So, I don't know. Christmas is always great. Obviously, happy holidays to you guys, the viewers and your loved ones. Hope you guys are having a great, holiday, couple of months, Halloween. Hope you guys have great plans for Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys have a very, very Merry Christmas. All right, we have Pat McAfee wearing a Kane-inspired Halloween costume. I love this. I think that's dope as hell. Pat McAfee has been a WWE fan more than he has been an analyst. But no, I'm just kidding. No, he's been great. He's been literally exactly what WWE needed. You kind of needed that personnel, in terms of what what kind of standard does does a figure in terms of the sports world, what could they do for you? And the fact that WWE, partnered up with Pat McAfee, when he was on WWE, it was awesome. He wrestled a couple times inside the ring. He was awesome. And now he hosts a sports show and stuff like that. And it's just, something that brings you attention. Clearly the definition of clearly of a beneficial relationship, WWE and Pat McAfee. Because, Pat McAfee is known in WWE, you know what I mean? And in WWE, when you see Pat McAfee, you tune into a show. It's kind of like a nice little beneficial relationship that these guys have had. And I, definitely think it's cool. Definitely think it's badass. And I think it's, 1,010% appropriate. Mark Davis of AEW has been cleared for in-ring competition. Can't wait to see what he has in store with his comeback. Recently, you saw two top WWE creative team members take a leave of absence, Michael Hayes and Bruce Pritchard, within the next couple of months, a couple of weeks, I think. And obviously, it's all, it's on the back of Triple H. Should be, I don't know if anywhere's going to take a dive. So, within the next couple episodes of Raw or SmackDown, if something happens and you're like, dude, that doesn't really make sense. And you'd be like, okay, it was because Michael Hayes was gone. As WWE fans, we need to have that out. We need to have that excuse. We need to have that, oh, that's why. Like, oh, that was a Vince McMahon move. And be like, oh, if Bruce Pritchard was there or if Michael Hayes was there, that would have never happened. I'm just kidding. No. But overall, it's, kind of crazy. It's been decided that Adam Pearce has already designed next week's Monday Night Raw show to honor 10 years of the New Day. Mm, mm, kind of a recipe for disaster. Kind of a recipe for disaster. I feel like this is going to be the last time these guys are going to be featured together, even in an interview with, Big E talking about Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston breaking up. This is something that they need to do, especially with Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods he's in his 30s. Kofi's in his 40s. He needs to try he needs to try the singles market. But then again, if it just doesn't really add up well, like can he take on somebody like Ron Breaker and kind of kind of be that role that Jey Uso was and be in terms of becoming a single star and loved by the fans? I don't think so right now. He's kind of viewed as a heel because of all the BS he's talking to Kofi Kingston and being the one to break up the New Day. So as a heel, can he win the Intercontinental Championship? I doubt it. Can he win the World Heavyweight Championship? I doubt it. This is something that WWE really needs to kind of take in consideration. Really needs to kind of be like, look, is this worth it? Can you separate the feeling? Can you Okay, the shock factor is awesome. Everybody in professional wrestling loves that shock factor. But at the end of the day, does the storyline make sense? And if it doesn't, sometimes you kind of got to keep these guys together, but it should be fun. Out should be kind of crazy. I'm interested to find out more. Roxanne Perez names herself, Cora Jade, Julia, and Stephanie Bakura as the future of WWE Women's Wrestling in NXT, the Four Horsewoman. And in recent news, we have WrestleMania 41. We have a backup plan. We have a backup plan right now. The Rock has not been confirmed yet in terms of WrestleMania 41, which is going to take place in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we're going to see, Roman Reigns take on Cody Rhodes, take on The Rock in a triple threat match for the WWE Undisputed Championship. But I guess their backup match is round 3 between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Both of them hold, a victory each. So that's bad. That's bad for a backup plan. All right, next we have legendary Mayuko Satomura announces her retirement. She challenges Bailey to a match, for her retirement match. Should be pretty badass in Tokyo this summer. She's been in the wrestling industry for over 30 years. Her last match has been announced at April 29th, 2025. Definitely, I would be so excited to see that. Ricochet and Samantha Irving finally speak on why, why they ultimately left WWE. It's exactly what you guys thought. No pettiness here. Samantha Irving, she never really wanted to get into ring announcing. She wanted to be that like a Paul Heyman, manager, kind of figure. She started off, training to become a superstar, and then she was kind of stuck behind the desk, and you all know how that feels. They like you, you're too prominent, you're too worthy, you're too valuable to promote. So Samantha Irving was, she was speculating on quitting even before Ricochet did. And Ricochet, he just said, AEW had a lot of plans that could ultimately open up a character, which is 1,010% too. The two have two women, not two women. They they have two children together, and Samantha Irving wants to, be them. She wants to drop them off and pick them up at school, help them with their homework. Make dinner. She wants to, pack their lunches. She wants to help them with their homework. She wants to be that overall mother and also work on her musical career. And, nothing really of a surprise, but, you know, they said, as, you kind of grow out of it, you kind of get older. And, that's the reason why Samantha Irving quit abruptly. That's the reason why Ricochet was so committed to AEW because he's over there. He's better paid. He has better bookings. He has better spots. He has better matches. He has a better future in AEW. And, something that as a couple, and I knew this in the back of my mind. I was like, you know what? They're a couple. They're doing, sometimes you take a job to be like, okay, I got to worry about my family. You know what I mean? So, not really surprised that this was the case, but, happy for them. Happy for them. Zila Fatu becomes the first ever champion of this groundbreaking new promotion. He won in Chicago, defeated Teenage Moose, and just kind of that into perspective. Teenage Moose he's Teenage Moose. He's crazy. He's the leader of the system. Not really a guy you can kind of be like, oh, you just defeated a Moose. Dude, that's cool. This makes a big deal. This is a really, really big deal. This shows when Rikishi spoke on his podcast, he said that, Zila is not ready to debut in WWE because he's not experienced enough. Going toe to toe with a guy like, the former TNA World Heavyweight Champion Moose that's a big catch. Right now, they're highly running Zila Fatu. They are preparing him for a WWE entrance, for a WWE debut during this, Bloodline Civil War that's going to happen at Survivor Series. So this means something. This is great. He's the fourth rope champion, House of Glory, Crown Jewel champion, and Reality champion. He's won 3 championships already, and he's just continuing to impress and impress and impress. And right now, WWE's like, you know what? You show us that you're ready to debut on this roster, and we will make you a superstar. Obviously, heading into Survivor Series, Hikuleo has been on the back burner for so long. He was signed with WWE and on the WWE main roster page for about like a cool 3 to 4 months. It's crazy. Well, not 3 to 4 months, right? Probably like 3. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my podcast. Hope you guys had a great time. Hope you guys enjoyed the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Follow us on Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. And like I always say, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, we have a whole bunch of other podcasts you guys should definitely check out. You guys should definitely talk. These podcasts are just like this. We encourage a lot of audience engagement. Our success is built on, not us like getting out, be like, man, dude, I totally killed that podcast. Like, I did so good spitting out a whole bunch of facts. No, for me, I just, I love the chats. I love hearing what you guys have to say. And when I don't really get a lot of audience engagement, I'm like, damn it, maybe I could have done something different. Like, maybe I could have had a subject that was more inviting to the audience. So, definitely, hit up that chat if you guys want me to work on something. Criticism, feedback is a gift. Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. Hope you guys had an amazing Wednesday, gearing up for an amazing Thursday. Full of Ring of Honor and TNA. Make sure you guys tune into that. Hope you guys tune into AEW Dynamite and NXT. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, so make sure you guys tune into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast on the GSMC Sports Network tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We can talk about it. Stay beautiful, and of course, always love you.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to